My name is Joan Bada Siraye. In continuation from the last video, I'm a facilitator for human resource manager. We'll be talking about selection after recruitment. How do you select and conduct interview? So that's where the parts of that video that was not part of it. So selection of applicants. Once the applications have been received, the information about the applicant is compared with the requirement for the position application have been called for. The applicants who fulfill the criteria are shortlisted and invited to attend a personal interview, and this is done by the HRO personnel or other members of staff in the HRO department. Employment interview. You look at, there is what we call the system of interview, aims of interview, conduct of employment interview, conducting interview for best results, selection test, appointment, dealing with unsuccessful candidate, and the trial and probationary period. System of interview. An interview is a face-to-face meeting, a discussion between an applicant and the employer's representative. Depending on the position, interview can be conducted by a single person or a single manager using the HRO manager, or HRO manager and the manager of the department for which the applicant is to be posted. Aims of interview. To confirm the information already provided by the applicant. This is key. When you compare what the person has already provided and you're asking the person, so the aims of interview is actually to compare both. Then it enables interviewers to compare in detail each applicant's personal characteristics with those provided in the application form. It enables interviewers to assess the applicant's behavior, mannerism, alertness. Then it enables the applicant to seek relevant information about the job and the organization as a whole. It also enables the interviewer to shortlist the most suitable candidate from among those who attended the interview. Conduct of employment interview. This is to ensure that the interview process is successful. It is necessary to have proper planning and preparation. Each interviewer should go through the job description and the employee specification before conducting the interview. Each interviewer should make notes about the relevant details of the applicant and should also make a note of the additional information he or she wants to gather from the applicant. Different interviewers on the panel may have a different order of important information they would like to seek. All the interviewers should decide the order of topics to be covered during the interview so that duplication of questions from different interviewers may be avoided. However, there should be a scope of flexibility depending on the varying personality and skill of candidates. Conducting interview for best results. Interviewers must understand that some candidates may be shy or nervous at the beginning of the interview. They must be made comfortable by starting the interview with general conversation, such as the time taken to reach the venue of the interview. Then you also talk of their mode of transportation. Another relaxed questions to actually make them feel comfortable in the presence of the interview. As a matter of fact, this process should start from the time they report for the interview. They need to be greeted in a friendly way by the secretary or the receptionist. And if they have to wait for some time in the case of several candidates attending the interview, by offering them a glass of water or a cup of coffee to make them feel at home. The room in which the interview is to be conducted should be comfortable and quiet. Then the interviewer should greet them pleasantly by standing up and shaking hands or making some friendly and pleasant comments. For best results, candidates should be encouraged to talk and give information without frequent interruption from the interviewers. For best result, if a candidate gives a wrong answer to a specific question, the interviewer should never point out the mistake. Rather, supplementary questions may be asked or the topic may be changed. Some interviewers are in the habit of showing off in front of other panel members and start a lecture on a certain topic or telling stories that they feel is applicable here. This is absolutely unacceptable. It is the candidate who is being interviewed and not the interviewer. Before the interview is brought to a close, the interviewer should be certain that all relevant questions have been asked, and at this stage the candidate should be given an opportunity to seek information about the job and the organization, and a clear and precise answer is to be given. Finally, the candidate should be told when he or she is expected to learn of the results of the interview, and the candidate should be made to leave the interview room in a pleasant and positive frame of mind. Selection test. It is obvious that some position certain tests might be used to supplement but not to replace the interview. Interview is key, but in some cases even after the interview you also go through, maybe we have work tests, aptitude tests, intelligence tests and personality tests. The work tests are designed to check if the candidate is as skillful as he or she has claimed. For example, a secretary may be asked to type a letter or even to see whether he or she can actually use the computer very well. A driver is requested to drive a vehicle. And also maybe a forklift operator is required to drive and maneuver his or her machine. Then amplitude tests. They are designed to show off skill of doing simple tasks. We have intelligence tests. They are for reasoning ability. Then we also have personality tests, which is designed to indicate the possession or lack of certain character and traits in the candidate. We have appointment. After the selection has been made, the most suitable candidates should preferably be informed by telephone, and then a written confirmation is to be sent. This letter should contain all the relevant details such as the position, the dates of commencement, and the official to whom the candidate should report. The appointment letter should contain or should be accompanied by particulars of the terms and conditions of the employment, such as hours of work, salary and other benefits, and perhaps even a copy of job description. The decision to appoint must be communicated as early as possible, because a candidate might also have applied to other companies, and if you don't communicate it on time, some of them may have gone to other companies. Moreover, if the candidate who is number one on the list is not available, you can contact the next on the list. Dealing with unsuccessful candidates. Candidates who have been unsuccessful at the interview should be informed accordingly as early as possible by tactfully worded letter, which would ease disappointment and avoid upsetting the candidates, so that it doesn't lead to it does not bring the person's spirits down. If a candidate was not found the most suitable for a particular job, it might be that the person concerned could be suitable for other similar or another post in the future. It is therefore suitable to retain the file of the applicants, so that when there are other positions or vacancies, relevant candidates can be conducted. Dealing with unsuccessful candidate is very key, so that you don't bring depression upon the candidates. Then we have the trial or probationary period. It is quite common for people to be offered a post on condition that they will work the first few months as probationary period. This period might be 1 month, 3 months, or even longer, depending on the organization and depending on the seniority of the post or on the amount of training necessary to be given to the candidates. The probationary period allows the employer to assess whether the candidate selected is actually suitable in real life situation and allows the new employee time in which to decide whether he or she will be happy working for the organization. And at the end of the probationary period, the new employee might be called for a talk with the departmental head or the HR manager, during which reports on progress made can be discussed. If both parties are satisfied, the employee is confirmed in the post. Otherwise, he or she needs to be informed and the employment can be terminated. So we continue with our lecture. Our topic for today, which is induction, training, and employee development. Induction is meant to induct new employee into the new social settings of his work. The new employee is introduced to his or her job situation and informed about the rules, working conditions, privileges and activities and other particulars pertaining to the organization. An employee should be properly indoctrinated on his job description and working privileges by a member of the HRO department. It is important to give the new employee a good impression on the first day at work. However, the induction program should not end there. It is also important to have a systematic induction program spread over several days to cover all the grounds in the shortest effective time. Most of the information given to the applicant is likely to be contained in an handbook which is distributed to all employees. That's for bigger organizations. In the case of rank and file workers, the induction program may consist of a brief explanation by a member of the HRO department or the supervisor under whom the employee will work. In some organizations, the new recruits spend anywhere from a day to several months in each department to gain first-hand experience in various types of work. Effective induction program. Induction usually involves the new employee meeting and listening to different people talk about the various aspects of the business or the job. Other methods include written information, audiovisual aids, and group discussions. The following items are generally covered in the induction program: introduction to business, layout of the building so that the person can easily find his or her way. Then we have terms and conditions of employment, relevant personnel policies such as training, promotion, health and safety, business rules and procedures, arrangement for employee involvement and communication. Then we have welfare and employee benefits, and we also have follow-up training and development. After the successful candidates selected for various job and induction program has been completed, and management must provide for their training and development. This is because the efficiency of an organization depends greatly on the training and development of its or her personnel. Training is the act of increasing the knowledge and skills of an employee for doing a particular job. It imparts specific skills for specific purpose. It is mainly job oriented. Training is given to both old and new employees throughout their stay in the organization. In contrast, development includes the process by which managers and executives acquire not only skills and competence in their present job, but also capacity for future managerial positions. Benefits of training. Training programs helps in increasing the quality and quantity of output. It helps each individual member to utilize and develop his or her potentials. Employees feel they are being taken care of by the management, and this leads to an increase in their morals. By training the workers, it enables them to make the most economic and best use of the materials and equipment. Training employee need less a trained employee rather needs less supervision, as training helps in building the second line of competent officers and competent replacements. The availability of trained personnel ensure long-term stability and flexibility in the organizations. Managers are exposed to the latest concepts, information and techniques, and they become better on the job. Most companies are lacking in this area. They hardly train their employees, and if you don't develop your employee, they still keep doing one particular thing over and over again. Types of training. We have job training, we have on the job training, we have refreshers training, then we have promotional training. On the job training, that's it increase the knowledge of workers about the job, efficiency and skill performance. Then refreshers training is arranged for existing employee in order to enable them to refresh on the initial training and improve their knowledge. Then we also talk about promotional training. This is mostly for existing employee that needs to be promoted in an organization. Training and development method. We have on the job method, we also have off the job method. On the job method, that is rightly stated, it's specific job training, specific, that is everything is what is on the job, you understand, so the person is learning on the job. So we also have things like apprenticeship training, we have coaching and understudy program, we have job rotation. There are various way of training. Maybe I'm in a department today, like in the bank. On the job training, you see they keep rotating. Somebody will be in customer service today, tomorrow the person is a cashier on the counter, so the person is learning other areas. So that's what rotation is all about. Then we have special project and task force. They are still on the job, so the person keep learning all those. Then off the job method, we have special courses and lectures being organized. We have conferences, then we have case study, then we have sensitivity training, whereby those that are already in the job, they are trained to actually know more about it. Characteristics of a good training program. This is very key. How do you assess and know whether the training program is actually good? One, we have determination of training needs. Management decision on training needs of employees and select the best method of training is key. Relevance of the job requirements. The training to be organized, is it actually relevant to the job? Training programs must be related to the requirements of the job for which they are intended. Then we also have allowance for individual differences. There are differences in ability, learning capacity and interest of trainee. So the management should consider these factors while designing a training program. Then training program should be result oriented. Management should avoid training for the sake of training and show greater interest in the benefits of the training program. Then we also have suitable incentives. There should be suitable incentives to the trainee to make them take training programs seriously. Then we also have the management support. Top managers should take interest in and support the training program. Subordinates cannot be expected to take training programs seriously if their superior themselves are not serious about the training. When designing training the training programs with clearly defined objective is a vital step in the entire training. The linkage between the design and the objectives must be carefully thought out by the HRO coordinator or HRO manager before announcing the program to members of staffs or employee. To ensure the success of a training program, below are stated some. We have 1, a trainer choice of faculty, technical and specialized knowledge, experience and skill, openness to new ideas, observation power, a questioning mind, and willingness to experiment. That training have necessary background experience, intellectual and physical capability, diagnostic and application skill, and personality influence. The curriculum of the training is also key. Then training materials and manual, if it's to be provided, it should also be part of the when you are designing the program. Then the methods and techniques to be used. And we also have the training equipment, location, and the timing of the training. This table here will actually help when training is to be organized. It's like a checklist for the HRO manager, where you have things like location, if you are using an audio system or you are using a projector, everything is stated in this table. So this is like a checklist to actually help the HRO manager. Why do you need the checklist? Why do we evaluate? Training is done with specific objectives. Hence, evaluation of training is a must. It is necessary in order to determine if the developmental objectives were achieved, if the method of instruction was effective, if the best and the most economic training activities were organized and implemented. Criteria for evaluation of training. You look at the reaction of training, whether the participants liked or disliked the program, and this is key. So that means there's supposed to be a feedback process to actually know. Then learning, whether the concepts, idea, and principles of the training were intellectually assimilated by the participants. Then you have behavioral change, whether the training caused people to alter their behavior on the job. The impact on the organizational effectiveness, whether the modified behavior caused positive results such as an increased output, improved quality, and lower cost. Techniques of evaluation. Evaluation is at any stage should be made keeping in mind the objectives set before the program. Tests should be administered to assess the effectiveness of the training program. Then you also look at the instructor. Who are the instructors? Because they supply one of the most important source of information as to how the instructors is meeting the objectives of the unit of the organization. Then we have training. Since what progress the trainee is making, assist in diagnosis of the area of difficulty, helps distinguish between the relevant and the irrelevant, and can provide incentives towards greater effort. Then HRO manager, who uses tests to evaluate the capability of the instructor, teaching method and materials, and whether the training activities helped in attainment of the goals and objectives of the organization or the business. Then we have top management. Because of the value test results have in preparing reports on the effectiveness of the entire training and development program, top management should always make sure that the evaluation is key. Then we'll go to health, safety, security, and welfare. Although this will be taught out during your HRO class, your health and safety for those that are taking this course. What is worthy of note, however, is that the HRO department and its staff provide expertise and are responsible for coordinating, monitoring specific health and safety program in an organization, since the security and welfare of members of staff are key in an organization. So we go to employees' welfare. Modern HR manager should have a genuine desire to make reasonable facilities available to employees with their interests firmly in mind. Employee benefits are closely related to welfare and might include subsidized group life assurance, help with house purchase, payments during sickness. Then we also have lunch voucher. These are some things that you provide and you actually helps. These are welfare packages that most companies should also look at in providing. As an HR manager, these are the things that are key you provide for your employee. Such advantages are often generous in respect of managerial level, for which life assurance scheme, company vehicles, then we have overseas visit, conference expense accounts, and other status symbol form part of the higher executive package. Then you can also look at canteen facility. If an organization provides a workers canteen, it should be clean with ample sitting accommodation. Meals can be subsidized for all level of staff. We also have vehicle parking. The HR manager of a large organization should ensure that they have enough parking space for all members of staff, so that when everybody is at work, their mind is at rest that wherever their cars are parked, it is secure. Then sport facility is also some of welfare packages that can be made available to members of staff. We also have workers committee. Workers committee may be set up to air grievances or to make suggestions that might lead to the improvement in one way or the other. We have motivation, employee counseling, resignation, and retirement. Motivation involves providing leadership for subordinates, and also requires the ability to inspire them to put in their best effort in achieving the organizational goals and objectives by creating good morals or working spirits among all employees. Style of management. In order to motivate employees, it is necessary to develop and maintain a style of management which is appropriate to a good work environment. Task and relationship needs. This one is very key. Task needs are related to the exercise of individual technical skill. Relationship needs are concerned with getting things done through the effort of other people. Changes in management attitude. We have various methods. We have the scientific method, we have the contemporary attitude. These are various methods. The scientific method, all activities should be prescribed and controlled. Employees should be told only what they need to know. Work measured job time should be set. Work should be simplified through automation, hence should be short-term rewarded based on direct work output, and feedback should be permitted from subordinates. While the other contemporary attitude, employees should be encouraged to organize their own work, increase communications. Then employee should be accountable for their own target. There should be flexibility. Emphasis should be on teamwork. Reward should be long-term and based on whole job performance. This diagram here shows the hierarchy of human needs by Maslow. Maslow proposed that there is a hierarchy and scale of human needs which varies from a self-actualization need. We have the esteem need, then we also have social needs, then we have safety and security need, then we also have psychological needs. So all of these needs are key, but if as an HRO manager you must know that in the order that it is stated here, if the person an employee is not stable, he or she cannot put his or her best. So we go to motivational strategies. To a large extent, a high level of employee motivation is derived from effective management practice. To develop motivated employees, HRO managers should ensure that HRO personnel as well as other departmental managers must do the following: empowering of employee, providing an effective reward system, redesigning jobs, then creating flexibility. Managerial style in HRO management. An open management style is likely to be successful in the HRO department. Teamwork would enhance performance level. The HRO manager needs to involve the staff in the departmental decision making process. The concept of responsibility sharing would involve consultation, involvement and participation in a team-oriented HRO department. Responsibility can be shared in the following areas: interpreting organizational policy, developing organizational procedure, winning the consent of subordinates, organizing meeting, maintaining communication network, then understanding and motivating others. Disciplinary actions. Managers and supervisors of various departments always try to motivate, guide, advise and control their subordinates. In spite of this, occasion will arise where there is no alternative but to take a disciplinary action. Before committing to any proposed disciplinary action, as an HRO manager or a supervisor, you will be consulted, and so when you are consulted and briefed of the situation, and they will seek your guidance. After having the full backing of the HRO manager, he or she acts firmly and confidently. Depending on the severity of the offense, disciplinary action takes different form. The following procedure may be adopted. If it's a first-time offense, the person should be spoken to and advised. For example, if a subordinate arrives at work late without satisfactory explanation, a counseling session might be beneficial. If the same person continues behaving the same way, a formal written letter is given to such person. If it continues, we have a final written warning letter again. After then, and the employee still does not improve, he or she can be penalized. The penalty may be transferred to another section or location, suspension without pay, or dismissal from the job. Could take the person from this department to another department. That's also like a punishment, depending on the present department where he or she is working. Nature of problems. Knowing when we were talking of disciplinary action, at times the problems that you encounter, they are different. Some problems are related to the work, while others are personal nature. Generally, a manager or supervisor is concerned with the employee's work-related problem, but sometimes you may have to deal with an employee's personal problem also, because that may have been the cause of the problem at work. Solving the problem. Solution to the problems can be found only through a joint discussion between the manager and his subordinate. This needs to be a two-way process. Sometimes a manager or supervisor arrange a counseling session, but sometimes it is initiated by the employee when he or she needs to share his or her problem. It is important that the manager or supervisor keeps the information related to an employee counseling session confidential from other employees. Every problem that needs to be addressed through counseling is individual in nature. Hence, for each problem, the manager or supervisor has to adopt a flexible approach and not try to fix every problem with the same solution. Process of successful counseling. The subject for discussion should be introduced in a discreet manner and not done openly. The reason for the discussion should be explained to the employee in a sympathetic manner so that he or she has confidence to discuss the matter further. Questions should be asked in a gentle manner so that the subordinates will be able to appreciate how the manager or supervisor is trying to help him or her. Then quite often, all the questions related to the problem may not be addressed in one session. A few more sessions may be necessary in order to get the facts right. When this happens, it is possible to have a high level of employee motivation. This is also very effective in controlling employee behavior. Then we have equal opportunity policy. Equality in the workplace means that there is fair treatment for each and every individual. Everyone is supposed to have equal access to job opportunity, promotion, and other benefits. It also means that there should be a system of equal pay for similar work in the organization. There should be no discrimination on the basis of gender, race, religion, or physical disability. The policy should state clearly a commitment to equality in the areas of recruitment, promotion, training, performance appraisal, and pay. Policies alone are not enough. There must be a commitment to put them into practice by specific measures, and this should be the responsibility of the HR manager. An important part of implementing equal opportunity policy is monitoring its effectiveness in the case of gender, race, or disability. These people are represented in the workplace. Resignation. Resignation occurs when an employee decides to terminate his or her employment with an organization. Whatever a manager may do to retain the experienced staff should be done. If otherwise, an HR manager should conduct an exit interview with the employee concerned to try to ascertain the reason why he or she is leaving. Resignation could be avoidable and unavoidable. Unavoidable resignation. In many cases, resignation is unavoidable, especially on account of the following: illness, accident, marriage, pregnancy, death in the family, intention of self or spouse to move to another city. In such circumstances, the HR manager has no option but to accept the resignation. However, the loss of a good employee is cause for concern to any organization. On the other hand, there might be a situation when an employee has committed a serious offense. In such a case, the employee may be given an option of resigning voluntarily in order to avoid serious consequences. Avoidable resignation. Sometimes resignation may occur on the account of lack of motivation in the place of work, terms and conditions of employment, difficult relationship with other employees or managers or supervisors, denial of promotion, or salary increments. In such situation, it is the HR manager's responsibility to find out the real reason for resignation through an exit interview. He or she might not be able to do anything for that particular employee, but he or she can definitely analyze and give recommendation for the future. However, some resignation are given in the heat of the moment. In such a situation, the HR manager can arrange a counseling session with the employee concerned and prevail upon him or her to continue the job. In some cases, maybe they will say, you don't just stop like that, you give us notice on before. So by the process whereby the person has dropped the employee, the resignation letter, so management will just put one-on-one together to see how they can actually speak to the person for the person to continue working with the organization. Retirement. An employee retires from a job when he or she has reached or attained a certain age, and not because of any other reason. That's retirement. Retirement ages at which people retire varies from country to country and from organization to other organization. This might also be age difference for retirement between men and women and for certain jobs. So example given here is air hostess. You don't expect a female of 40 or 50 to be taken, or even I don't think they take above 35 for an air hostess. So in such cases, for the female, they don't get equal opportunity, so they easily retire the female before they retire the male. Then we have retirement benefits. Employees are generally eligible for certain retirement benefits. These differ as per the laws of the countries and rules of different organizations. They are usually of the following type. We have provident fund, we have gratuity, we have pension. Provident fund could be the one that you are contributing, your employer is contributing. So at the end of the day, both the full money is given to what the employee has contributed while working. Then at retirement, the employee has access to the entire fund he or she has contributed. Then when we talk of gratuity, in some country, an organization, when an employee retires, he or she is given gratuity. It is calculated based on the number of years of the employee multiplied by the last monthly basic salary. So that is for gratuity. Then pension. In most countries, some organization, the retired employee is eligible for monthly pension for life. Then planning and counseling for retirement. It can be a great shock for an employee who has worked for an organization for many years to find out that he or she is no longer working. This one is something else, because a lot of people, they are used to that lifestyle. Every day they wake up in the morning, they go to work, and you will even find out that they don't have any other life apart from the job. They are used to work, so they don't have friends, they don't have social life. So it is key as an HR manager, if somebody is due for retirement, it is key that you plan and you educate such people. Training are even organized in some companies, because the shock for some, you see them immediately they retire, some just grow old, because when they realize that I'm not so I've reached this certain age, I can no longer do the things I used to do. So it's desirable for the HR manager to arrange for certain counseling session. This way, the employee can gradually prepare to accept psychologically the fact that he or she is retiring from active services. I know of some companies, like in NNPC, a year before your retirement, the staff and the wife, or the wife and the husband, they are both invited, and they will go for a 2-week seminar where they are giving different lecture, and they are even taught of other investment plans in case when the person retires, he or she can actually really invest his or her money, and other lifestyle the person can actually adapt to, so that the person does not feel the burden of retiring. So this is very key as an HR manager, that this counseling session is also, or training session is organized for would-be retiring staff, so that they will prepare their mind for the things they will do after retirement. Some, maybe you encourage them to register in a gym. So there are different activities you can do. So such training, you do it over time. You teach them about other investment. For those that don't know how to invest, they can convert their pension to annuity. And so there are so many investment funds that they are being taught. For those that don't have property, they are encouraged to go into property and build something, so that their old age they will enjoy it properly. So we'll end